Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we're going to make work on 3 pair of earrings using pendant pieces or charms, whatever you want to call them, that we got from Bead Box. Well, no, from Bead Box Bargains, the sister site of Bead Box. Now, if you watched my live on Tuesday, you'll know one of these little pair of earrings, which are going to be the simplest pair to make, we had half designed during the show, but we worked on something else instead. So let's turn down and I'll show you what we're going to do. So these are our pieces. We're going to take these little guys here and we're going to put the chain down and we're going to hook it right here to this little loop right here in the bottom. It's going to go down here, and then we're going to put our crystals on here. So now I've fed my crystals onto my wire here, my head pin, eye pin, but no head pin, sorry. And we're gonna wrap these up, bring it around, and now this guy is going to go on a piece of chain, of which I have, well, I just had it. There we go. Feed this onto here. And then we're going to wrap this up and so once we wrap this guy up, and since it's hooked to the chain already, that was what we were doing there. Move this up some because it slipped. Now we're going to trim this off, obviously, and tuck it in. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this little guy that's hooked onto here. My my little eye looks to be pushed to the back somewhat, so I'm going to bring her up more. So then we're going to take a jump ring and we're going to hook it right here. Now, if you don't want it this long, we could always make it a few links shorter. But I think I do want it longer though. I'm not sure I want it that much longer. We may cut off one link. I think I'm going to cut one link off each of the chains so it's a teeny bit shorter. And I've got the second one here, and we've got the crystal fed into it, but we haven't got it wound up yet. So let's just get that wound up now that we've cut our link out. Now we'll cut the excess off here. And tuck it in. Okay. Now the next step is to take one of these Tinky Tots and we're going to go through our little loop down here. See, it's got a loop right here. And we're going to go through that loop. Guess it would help if I tried going through it the right way. And now that we've got that, we're going to go and take our chain. I'm holding it with my thumb now. These are really tiny, so I want to get in here with my, see how the Tinky Tot's right here. So then we want our chain to go on this right here. Oops, Looks like we're going to have to hold it a little bit better. It's a sort of awkward spot being up there inside in that teeny little ring, so we are going to have to carefully maneuver this into here. Oops. I don't want to switch to a bigger one if I can help it, because I like this smaller size because it matches the links in our chain pretty well. Well, I didn't want to do that. I'll have to get that back off the floor in a moment. Now I need to get this Tinky Tot closed now that I have it in the ring. And I've done it mostly just by bending it there. And let's see. Oh, it's not quite closed all the way. So we'll try and get it finished closing here. There we go. So then this chain is going to hang back here behind it like so. And then we're going to take this other Tinky Tot here, which is, I think it's just a teeny bit larger than that one. And I hope it's big enough to go through this loop. And I'm going to need a second one to do this. I had forgot that this is going to be, because I'm putting it on a post, if it was on an ear wire, these loops are going the same way, but with the post they're not. So I'm going to have to take this other little Tinky Tot here, and I'm going to open it up. And we'll go through our original one here and then hook it to our post and close that up. Now you don't have to use a post if you don't want to. You can always use an ear wire, and if you used an ear wire you wouldn't need the two wires, you could just do one. And so here's this one finished. Oh, I flicked that away thinking it was a little piece of wire, and it was actually my Tinky Tot. So we don't want to flick it away. So now I'm going to have to go find the piece I dropped. Okay, here's our little ring back. Those are the other two pair we're going to work on in a minute. So we'll get this jump ring. It's already open because this bottle of them came opened. Put our chain on. And then we'll hook it to our component. Oop. There we go again with these, working these teeny weeny little things, wanting to come loose. So yep. So we've got our chain on this one now. Now we just have to put on our two little jump rings. So open this one up. And we'll put it on the big loop here. And then you get to the back. You're not supposed to be in front. Okay. Then we'll get our second one. Open it up. Go through the first one. Come on. And then we'll hook it on our post and close her up. Slide the jump ring to the back if you can. It's in the front, but we will get it moved. It's not quite closed, so we want to get it closed. And I have put my my posts on backwards. So we're going to have to open it back up. Obviously, I need to pay a little more attention there. And we're going to get this baby off and put it on the right way. And close her back up. So now she's on the right way. Our chain fell to the front again, but there is our little pair of our the simple and delicate little crystal and chain necklaces, earrings made from the little tiny pendant. So that's earring pair number 1. Pretty delicate, I like them. So let's slide these over to the side a bit so they're not quite in the way. And we'll pull out our second pair. Now the second pair, we're going to be using, I didn't get any wire out. I do need to get the wire out. So we got all these beads here. And we've got this one. We've got 2 ear wires. Well, these are posts, not ear wires. Both of these are like the other ones on the others, except for these teardrops are silver instead of gold. So those are going to be going on the top. And this is going to have this teardrop here, our double bead cap right here, the larger of our crystals down at the bottom, and the other one at the top. This will go here. And then lastly, we're going to put on these 2 pendant pieces, one on either one. Now the greens aren't quite the same color, but I think that they work fine. So it's going to go like that. So we need to get out a little bit of 20 gauge wire so we can hook it here, go up through here, and then we're going to end it and put a little jump ring on to our ear wire there, or our post. So we need 2 little pieces of 20 gauge wire. Here's our 20 gauge wire. And we don't need a really big piece. This is probably about 4 inches, and that's probably more than enough. So we just want to get this sort of straightened. That's relatively straight, not perfectly, but pretty close. Do the same with this one. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make the loop at the bottom of this for hanging our pretty pendant piece or charm, whatever you want to call this, drop. I think that's a really pretty piece. It's going to sit dangling at the bottom, of course. So the first thing we want to do is to bend our wire over. And we'll make our loop for our bottom piece here. So I don't think we need a big loop. I think a regular size loop should be fine. So up and over and around, bring her down, bring her around, bring her over, pull her up so she's sort of like a lollipop, leaving a gap, feed our charm onto here. I don't think I left a big enough gap, but we'll see if I can work it down onto here. There we go. And then of course we want to close this up. So we'll hold this with our pliers where the wires come together, and take the other side and take our pliers and make, oh, I think just 2 loops. And we're going over the top of the other. I can tell because we're getting really fat all of a sudden. We don't want that. So we'll come back here and we're going to cut this off and tuck it in. Now that we've got that on there, you can see how that looks. It's a little crooked, so we want to straighten it. Still looks a little crooked. There we go. Now we want to feed our beads on, and that's going to be this larger crystal rondelle. Then our bead cap. That's a double bead cap. Our teardrop. And then this other bead cap. This is a conforming bead cap. So when we drop it down on here, we can push it down the way to as tight as we want, and then squish the little petally pieces down so they fit on nicely. And then we want this one here. Now this is the front, and this loop is we need this loop to go so that when we put our jump ring in, it will go the proper direction. So we want this to go the same way as the other side is going. Whoops, don't slide out. Because we want this facing front, of course. So we want them to go the same direction. So get our pliers in. See that they're lined up, sort of. Go over this. Into here, go up and over and around, bring it down, bring her around. Now if you wanted to, you could hook your ear wire on right now. You wouldn't have to jump ring it. And I used to always do that, but lately I've been jump ringing them, and the reason for that is because I've had a few of my customers who didn't want the kind of ear wires I had, or you know, they have a post on, but they would rather have an ear wire or some such thing as that. So then I need to be able to take the ear wire off and switch it to something different. So we'll take that. Now we're going to tuck this wire in. And it looks like it's pretty good there. So now we'll take and get a couple of Tinky Tots out. We only need 2. 1, 2. Open this one up. Go through our ring here, and then our post. Close her up. want to make sure we get it, make sure when I hold this up that it's facing the proper direction. As you can see, it is. So that's the first of earring number 2, and we will get the second one going now. Second one is done. Now, in all actuality, I think that these ones, because they're a little more hefty, could have done with a heavier post. And I may change them out to something a little heavier than these little teardrops, just because they are a heavier piece. But anyway, there is earring number 2 of the second. There's our second set. I did decide to change these ear wires. Now, these are a really simple pair, but they have a little bit more substance to them. I once broke one of these back, so I want to make sure they're good and sturdy here. So now these, instead of going through a hole like these, they just go right over the donut, and I think they'll have a little more heft to them. So I think they will be a little more compatible, might be the better word, for this particular pair of earrings. So we're going to take these little guys off, and I'm just going to hook this over the wire like this, and now we'll close it. Now these are stainless steel posts, so go over the ring the other side of you. Still a teeny bit open, so we're gonna, I was closing that there. So see, I think this has just a little bit more heft to it, so I think it's a better fit for this particular earring, so that I liked the little teardrop shape, but it's just too delicate of a wire to go with this larger earring. So get this one, the little teardrop off, put it aside, and we will put our donut shaped one back on. Close her up. Go on, close up. And it slipped over to the front. We don't want it at the front, so let's just roll it over till it goes the other way. There we go. So there's the donut ones, and which posts, which I think are looking better as far as size-wise for this particular pair of earrings. So there's earring number 1, the little, really delicate little ones. Earring number 2, more very, very pretty, very elegant, but a more substantial earring than what we originally had here. So I'm going to switch, put this pair of ear posts back in the package they came from, and put them away. So that's earrings number 2, and here comes earrings number 3. So this is the things for earrings number 3, and we have 2 pieces of square wire, 2 pieces of round. This is square craft wire. This is round German style. This is 20 gauge. That's 18. And I'll show you what I am planning on doing with this one. So these are all our bits and pieces for these earrings other than the wires. So let's put these down here. So what we're going to do, I'll just take them out of this one package for right now, is we're going to take our round piece of wire, we're going to put this pretty crystal here on it, wrap it up, then we're going to put this little pieces together to hang it from. Then when we have that done, each of these goes to one, we're going to take this wire and it's going to form around and go up, and hopefully it's going to be long enough. This was what was left at the end of a roll, so I just cut it. These are, I think, 4 or 5 inch pieces. 5 inch. And our little ones are about 4 inch. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take this and we're going to do our bend in it. I'll do the other one while we're at it. And we'll put these sort of aside up here. We don't need those yet. So then we're going to take our, oops, don't bump our earrings, heroes. Our bell making plier. Go in here, up and around and over, bring it down, bring it around, leave a gap, and then we're going to feed on this little guy. So once that's on, we'll hold these 2 wires together, like so. Take our second pair of pliers and do a little wrap here. Oops. Cut our excess off and tuck it in. Now we've got, and we're leaning somewhat, so we want to straighten that up. We've got our little crystal here. So then we have our green rondelle, our spacer here, and our other little crystal. So there we go. Now we're going to wrap this up. Up and over and around. Bring it down and over. Bring her around. Get her in our lollipop shape. Get our pliers. Push down where the 2 wires come together. And start wrapping. Now this slid down some, so I'm going to push it up. Hold it tight. Looks like it still slid some. Not sure if I can get another wrap in here or not. Yeah, I think I can. So we will bring the wire around again to the back side and get it squished into shape here some. Cut the excess wire off and tuck it in. So here's our little dangle. Now, hopefully I have enough wire to do what I want with this piece, because like I said, I'm not sure I do, because it is a smaller piece of wire. And it was the tail end of the piece we had left. So what I want to do is I'm going to twist this wire, then I'm going to form it in a little square around here, and bring it back in with some loops, and then we're going to frame this pretty little piece with this piece. Before we get started on that, let's go ahead and put this other one together here. So we'll drop our pieces out here. And we're going to do exactly the same thing with this one as we did over here with this this first one. So now that we've got this bent already, we will make our eye pin, or yes, it is an eye pin. Want to leave a gap so we can slide our pretty crystal onto there. And then we're going to hold it while we wrap. Cut this baby off, tuck it in, looks pretty straight still, so now we want to feed our beads on. Looks like we have this one going opposite directions, so we will do that with this one as well. Up and over and around, bring her down, bring her around, bring her up some. So there's what we've got. So we want to hold this here while we wrap this other one up. Cut this off and tuck this baby in. It looks like I may need to cut a little bit more wire off, so I'm going to get my cutters that have a little sharp bend and cut that off there. So there's our two little dangles. Now these are very pretty just this way. If I wanted to just put the ear wire on and say done, we could, but I'm not going to, because we have that next step I want to do. But we're going to push our tools, get our tools put to the side for right now, so they're not going to be in our way. What we're going to do is we're going to get our ruler out. And we're going to measure this and get to the middle, which is about 2.5. And then these little guys look to be about not quite a 1/2 inch. So if it's 2.5, we want the bend at like 2 1/4 and 2 3/4. So I've put some little marks on this so I know where I want to make those first bends at. But before we do that, we're going to twist our wire because I want it twisted. I think it will be much prettier that way. So we'll get our pin twist out. We're going to put our pin twist inside. Come on, wire, go in. Sometimes with this one you have to open it a little bit because this is, I think this one is actually made for 20 instead of 18, and we're doing 18. So push this pin up here, get this in, grab hold of this end, and then we're going to twist. So we got to get a nice twist on it. This one looks good. So now we'll do the second one. Now you could do this with 2 pair of pliers if you chose. Just take hold of one side with the pliers like this one is, and then with the other side take hold of another pair of pliers and just twist the two. You'd have to twist them sort of together, I think, to get them to do a good twist. This has got a weird spot that doesn't want to twist right there, but I don't know why. But anyway, there's our 2 twisted pieces of wire. So we'll put our pin twist away because we're done with it now. And the next step we want to do is I'm going to get my square wire mandrel, not that one, this one. And we're going to take our two marks. One of them is right, I just saw it right here. And where's the other one? Right there. Okay, so that's about the right size for but let's see how it fits with the earring. I think we may want to go up to this one so we have a little bit of space, at least a little bit of space on each side of our little pendant piece there. So we'll take this and just bend it down at both spots here, and that's trying to bow in the middle. I don't want it to bow in the middle. I want it to go either side, like so. So we make a sort of cage around it. So we'll do the same with the second piece. We used this spot right here. So we need to find our marks. They're about right there. That is the size we used, right? did we use the next size up? Let's see. Want to make sure I don't need to go up one more. I think I may want to go up next one more. Yes, I did. So go up one more up here. Find your marks again so that you're pretty much straight in the center of here. Hold this down tight and bend. So now you have your square. And we should be the same size. Pretty much. So this one needs to come in a little bit more on this side and this side. So we have our two pieces. Now what we need to do is I hope this is going to have enough wire. It's going to be close. Because what I need to do is make the loops and bend them this direction. I think it might be just fine. What I'm going to use, I usually use a slightly bigger one. We're going to use the regular bell making plier right here. And we're going to bend them up this direction, but for all four. Now this one is wanting to go over slightly sideways, and that's because my square wire did a tiny twist, obviously. So we'll take our pliers and just sort of straighten it up. Now the thing is, we don't want these over here. They need to be more in the center. And hopefully, like I said, we will have enough wire. We may be too close down here at the bottom, but we'll see. So what we want to do now is take our flat nose pliers, put them right here, and bring these over. So now they're right in the center. And actually, they may even be further in than they need to be, but we'll see. So now, this is going to hang in here, and it is going to be a close thing here. It might actually hit the base of our piece down there. I'm hoping not, but it might. If it does, well, it's not going to be that bad. It's going to be real close. So now again, we want to do the same with this one. Take our flat nose pliers, tuck it right up to the curve, and bend it. Do the same with this side. So then we'll push them in some. That looks like this one's a little higher than the other one is, which is a little weird, but because the other one doesn't have that look to it, but we may have just bent this one down just a touch further than we should have. So anyway, there's our two frames, and now we need to put them together. So in order to put them together, what we need to do is take our jump rings, and we're going to start putting everything together here. So we take our two, this, oh, I think we need another one. Oh, I've got one over here. That's why we got an extra one there. Don't need our wire mandrel anymore. What we need is to put our jump rings onto our pieces. And we want to put one on each one. So we take our medium medium oval jump rings, put one on each of these loops, including the loop where the our pretty is going to dangle from. So those all go like that. Then we'll take our big loop and we'll open it. And then we're going to start feeding all these loops onto it. So this one goes on first, then our dangle one, then our other side. Come on, baby. And then our ear wire, making sure our ear wire goes so that it will face the front. So close that up, and there's our earring, and it's actually sitting in its frame quite nicely. So now we're going to do the same to put the second one together. So now you do need to take and wipe your Sharpie marks off. This little loop doesn't look like it's closed all the way, so let's, there we go. Close this baby up. Now this one. Strangely enough, this one looks like this one must be the ear, the dangle piece may be a little longer because it looks like it's hitting the frame, whereas this one is not, and our frames are, I think, the same size. So what I'm going to do to mitigate that somewhat is, since this one's not quite hitting and this one actually is hitting, see the difference there? The wiring must be different in here. I must have made this one just a touch longer. So what I'm going to do to fix this is I'm going to get in here and I'm going to take this medium jump ring out of here. So Then I'm going to get a Tinky Tot. Because the Tinky Tots are a smaller size than the medium ones, there's the one I want. I've got two that are slightly different sizes in here. One's a little bit bigger than the other, so I want the slightly bigger one. And if you were to inspect these a lot, you would see that I've got two different sizes of jump rings in here. But I'm hoping that the smaller size of jump ring here will allow our now when you do this separately like this, you need to go in the middle between the two side ones. I'm hoping that this one will be enough of an allowance to make the difference in the bottom down here of the dangle so that it hangs better. And I think it did. So and of course, some of the problem might be that that these are bent down further, the sides, than their counterparts there. So we'll lift those up just a hair's breadth. And now let's see how they are as far as... See, now they look better. They look much closer now. Though if you were to inspect, you could see that the one has got a different size of jump ring. But I don't think many people are going to look that closely. So there is earrings number 3. So we have, this was earrings number 3. This is earrings number 2. And earrings number 1. Now all of these earrings were made using pendants that I got from Bead Box Bargains. Aren't they pretty? I think they turned out quite nicely. I am quite pleased with all 3 pair. Like I say, they do have these little black marks on our wire yet, and you can rub them out if you work at it a little bit. See, there, we just got that one off. And I mostly have this one off. So, oh, you can still see that one here, I think. There we go. And I'll do the same with this. Just take your thumb and rub it against your mark here, and it will pretty much come off. May not come off entirely, but it's very, very close. And unless you're sealing it, sooner or later it will wear off. This one wants to stick better. after. So there we are. 3 pair of earrings with our pendants. These two, and these two, all coming from Bead Box Bargains. So there we go. There's our 3 pair of earrings. Weren't those beautiful? This is the first one. Very delicate, very easy, and pretty simple to make, other than trying to get those little jump rings on there. So there's the very delicate first pair that we made. Then these ones are more substantial. Now the greens don't quite match, but I think they work well enough. And they are pretty long. And then the last pair has our little twisted frame on them. So that's our 3 pair of earrings. I think they turned out quite lovely. I hope you enjoyed making them with me. I think I had fun making them. They turned out very pretty, I think. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.